Shalom. If you were to ask anyone who is familiar, even vaguely familiar, I would think, with the Parashat Yitro, the Parasha in which Yitro, Jethro, Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law, visits the camp of the Israelites, what was the problem that Yitro saw and what was the solution he offered? I think most people would answer right away. He saw that Moshe was sitting at court, holding court for the entire nation from morning till evening. Every litigation that arose came directly to him. And so Yitro said, "This, you're going to wear yourself out. This can't go on. You have to appoint a system of judges, and you'll just sit sort of at the top of the appellate court. And if there's anything that you really can't decide on your own, then you can apply directly to God for a solution." This is not wrong, but it's also far from the full story. It's about half the story, and the more important half, in my opinion, is something that I don't think people have paid much attention to. When we look at the verses of the Psukim, we see that Yitro, after saying, Moses, this is too much for you, take my advice before you wear yourself out, there are two verses. The first is the 20th in chapter 18, Pasuk Kaf, Perek Kaf Yudchet, where Yisro says to Moses, "Vizharta etem et hachokim b'Torah, v'odata lahem et haderech yelchu ba, v'et ha'maaseh asher ya'asun." Moshe should instruct the people about the laws and tell them about the proper way to go and the proper things to do. And then only in the verse after that, verse 21, does he say, etc., look for, upright people of no tinge, no smudge, no smudge of bribery taking or things like that sort, and divide them into a sort of, lower courts and mid-level courts and higher courts. So what people seem to miss is that the first verse, he tells Moses he should teach the people the laws. And I think this is the point that has been missed in the long run or in the short run by most people who look at this parsha. Because as it seems to me, the root of the problem was not that Moses didn't know that, being the sole judge for 600,000 people was too much for any one person, even for Moshe Rabbeinu. But that there had been no law code promulgated, no law code, no laws made public so that people would know them and they would know how to act. And if there were some litigations, then someone other than Moses could adjudicate by simply consulting the law code, the Chukim and Mishpatim, and deciding. And only in certain, there's even with the best law codes, there are always these borderline cases or problems with the testimonies that require maybe the intervention of a higher instantiation. And this was the major problem. And it was for that reason that Moses had to do everything himself. And once the laws would be promulgated among the people, and the people who were actually involved in the day-to-day business that led to litigation, as well as the people who were appointed as judges, would know the rules, have the law book in front of them in which to consult and see to how the case should be adjudicated. Only then could one set in place a system, a court system, in which Moses would be relieved of all but the most difficult cases. Now, there are some things that have to be resolved because apparently the Torah itself doesn't tell us the full story. When it tells us that Moshe accepted Yitro's advice, it says right away that he appointed these judges and set up the court system. It doesn't say anything about actually teaching the laws to the people. On the other hand, we know that even before this story, almost immediately after leaving Egypt, we had the event in Elim where it said that V'sham samlo choku mishpat. God already gave them a sort of a pre-taste, a Vorspeise, an entree towards the Torah. And Chazal say that, that these are included, some religious laws such as Shabbat, but also civil law, civil litigations, Dinei Mamonot. But apparently, Moses had not taught these to the people, not made them well known. And even now, after having heard the advice of Yitro and accepted it, it doesn't say that Moshe got up and spread the law among the people. However, as we all know, the story immediately following the story of Yitro and Moshe setting up the core system is the revelation of the Torah at Har Sinai, the Ten Commandments, but the entire Torah. So we see here in brief that to have a smooth running, efficient, and hopefully equitable and just system of justice, it's not enough to have good judges, but you also have to have a code of law that everyone knows about, the people who are involved in day-to-day business, as well as the judges. And this was what had to be filled in these first stages from the exodus of Egypt, beginning with the Sham Samlo Chok HaMishpat, where God gave them a few laws as by way of introduction, to Yithro's advice, which Moses put in practice only half, and then the Torah itself, which was given in Har Sinai, and then we have here the full system of Jewish law, the laws, the law code, and the skeleton judicial system where disputes can be adjudicated. And thank you very much, and all the best to you.